When I was all pink and dimples, all stinking pimples, aren't they? That was when I hardly knew anything about photography on those days. When I was young, I was in my prime, yeah?
And right now, you know, obviously you're kind of facing health that isn't too brilliant.
No.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel...
I'm not concerned, really. Just know it's going to happen, and when, I don't know. So I just put up with it. I don't worry about it at all. Yes. If it happens, it happens.
It's the one thing we can all count on.
That's right, I know who you are, even Princess Margaret.
Exactly.
Know it's going to happen, and when, I don't know. So I just put up with it. I'm not concerned, really. And this Rose, I was engaged to her. So one day I said, no, let's take a trip out, bed and breakfast somewhere. So we left Eltham. And, oh, by the way, that was a Velocette KSS model with the narrow tyres, a sports model. Anyway, we put up in Salisbury for the night. The next day, we started to drive over the border into Wales. And a young tramp come out. And I was just strapping the case on the back a bit better. And he said, would you like a cup of tea? I said, no thanks, we just had one. So she said, poor old devil, she said, give him something. So I dived inside the old store and got a coat and pulled up half a crown and a penny. I thought it was 2 pennies. And he nearly broke down and kissed me. Then we went on a bit to Hereford, and she wanted a ring. I said, well, turn your engagement ring round the other way. So she said, no. She said, I like a proper one. I said, well, go in Woolworths and get one for 6pence. So she went in there, and I waited outside, and she put this ring on, and her finger started swelling up, went black nearly. So I said, well, I used to smoke in those days a little bit, so I got the end of a Craven A packet, put a bit each side and started filing it with a Magneto file. We got it off in the end. He said, now you have to turn it round the other way, won't you, the using engagement ring. Oh, it was funny. Only I didn't want to get married and she did. She wanted children and I thought, I said, well, I can't get married. It was just before the war and I was enjoying myself otherwise. I said perhaps later, but didn't turn out. I didn't want to get married then. I would have done eventually if things had altered, but I didn't know what I did want really. I wanted my cake and eat it as well.
What happened to her?
Well, years later, a friend of mine said to me, oh, he lived at some Borstal Hill in some flats. He said to me, I said I had a girlfriend living up here somewhere because her uncle told me where she lived. He said, what's her name? I said, Rose. He said, I think I know her. He said, she goes to the evening classes where I go, making cuddly toys. So she said, why don't you call and see her? I said, no, I don't like to. So she'd been married and her husband died. So one day, later on, I did go. And she opened her and I said, bloody hell, she said, all that time. And she couldn't make it out. So she said, I'll come and see your sister and we'll get together. And she went out, I had a Vauxhall Chevette then, parked down the bottom. She come out in the veranda and waved to me as I was leaving. 3 weeks later, she died in hospital, asthma.
How amazing.
So I'm glad I saw her.
Sorry?
I'm pleased I saw her. This was about 7 years ago this happened. Okay. Same girl.
So 50 years.
Yeah. She still thought she still had the engagement ring, what I bought her. Yeah. It's over at Camshaft, as you can see, Velocette, and it's one of my favourites. A lovely thump. 74 miles an hour flat out. And you could do it all day and keep it up if you wanted to. No trouble whatsoever. That's me there in that one. And that's my brother, who's the policeman.
Looks like he had a sense of looking after you.
He did.
You can't.
Oh, yeah, that's the wife, yeah.
And that is her on a motorbike.
Yeah.
Did she ride a motorbike, or did you just put her on it?
No, I tried to teach her to drive a car once, and I came out in a rash. This is my mother with a bottle of Guinness that she liked. Sitting reading a book. She used to go over to the Co-op. We live right opposite the Co-op in Woolwich. They got some nice cracked eggs over there. Go and get some. I said, I'm not asking for them. She said, well, you've got to crack them when you cook them. That's my mother on the right, and that's my younger sister Jean in the middle.
Right.
Her first week's wages. And she was turning all her bag out to get her money out to show them. I just happened to be there and clicked it. The reason I went to Aldermaston was we was living in one room with my mother. We couldn't get a house. And they said, we'll be moving to Aldermaston shortly if anyone wants to go there. So I jumped on the bandwagon and went. Well, they said, would you go to one of the atomic tests in Australia? I said, I don't know yet, I couldn't make my mind up. I never thought of them, what they would do, really. But my wife was against it. But I'm glad I didn't now, because nearly all those people who were there have died since.
Why?
Who were on the test radiation. Here's a team who assembled the bomb, the warheads. Mostly engineers and scientist types. I think he's dead now. I know that one's definite. Jimmy Clifton, he died. He died. I don't know about that one.
Where are you?
Right on the end here.
That's you.
A scruffy one. And when the explosion occurred, they had to look away, just before it occurred. And they said, right, you can turn around and look now. And I think that's when most of them copped it. It was a radiation blast, definitely. They were all at the main test that I wouldn't go on. When they decided to march on there, and all the different countries had taken part, I started off being interested because local groups from the London area were appearing in it. And I thought to myself, I'll have some of those local people from the London area. And then it went on and I got more interest. I saw these different nationalities coming from all over the world. That I was thinking they were right, but they weren't going to get anywhere. Ireland, London, Japan. What was that one? National Society of Printers. Oh, Michael Foot is one. I security cleared every so often, different categories. Went to see a MI5 man. He said, that's a nice suit you got on. He said, have you been abroad? I said, no, I bought it from Free Bodies in Woolwich. Oh, he said, it's a nice one. He said, have you been abroad? I said, no, not for since before the war. I went on a 10-shilling trip to Boulogne. And that was every so often, every few months, you had to be interviewed again. See, he wanted to know what politics you had and all that type of thing, in a roundabout way, what your hobbies were. Spying, oh, that's the main thing, security. No, I don't have to worry about in that respect. I work to play. Easy come, easy go.